Some places on this planet just don't make sense. They defy our understanding of history. They whisper stories of forgotten giants or lost technologies. High in the mountains of modern-day Lebanon, the ancient city of Baalbek is one of those places. For centuries, it has guarded a secret carved in stone, a mystery so profound, it leaves even the most seasoned experts speechless. I've walked among these ruins. The scale is simply staggering. We're not talking about your average ancient construction project. The largest worked stones ever moved by human hands. How? The heart of this enigma is the foundation of the Roman Temple of Jupiter. Buried in the podium, 3 colossal monoliths. The Trilithon. Perfectly cut limestone blocks about 64 feet long, roughly 800 tons each. The equivalent of 6 blue whales or about 400 cars. Stacked together, lifted into place with impossible precision. Stonehenge stones, around 40 tons. The Great Pyramids of Giza, blocks averaged about 2.5 tons. The Trilithon are in a league of their own, a quantum leap in ancient engineering. A true heavyweight mystery. Nearby lies another, unfinished in the quarry. The Stone of the Pregnant Woman, about 1,200 tons, tethered to bedrock, as if work stopped. A tantalizing clue to enormous ambition. Standing beside it, you feel insignificant. Not just a rock, a statement. They moved 800-ton blocks and planned for even bigger ones. This wasn't a fluke, it was a system we've lost. So, how did they do it? Believe me, people have been guessing for a long time. The most common theories sound plausible at first, but they start to crumble under the sheer weight of the problem. The go-to explanation for any ancient heavy lifting is usually a whole lot of people, a whole lot of ropes, and a whole lot of ramps. Engineers have run the calculations again and again. The sheer friction involved in dragging an 800-ton block, even on rollers, is astronomical. The number of people required would be so immense they would get in each other's way. Where do you attach the ropes? How do you coordinate the pulling force of 40,000 individuals to prevent the stone from skewing or tipping? And that's just getting it from the quarry. How do you then lift it over 20 feet into the air and slot it into place with millimeter-perfect precision? The ramps required would have been architectural marvels in themselves, larger than the temple itself. This is where the mainstream explanations often hit a dead end, leaving a void that gets filled with more exotic ideas. Frustrated with conventional answers, some have turned to the skies. The ancient astronaut theory suggests that extraterrestrial visitors with their advanced technology like tractor beams or anti-gravity devices must have been involved. Every great expedition needs the right gear. Sometimes it's a trusty 4x4, sometimes it's a deep-sea submersible. But for the secrets of Baalbek, the key wasn't a physical tool, it was a digital tool. In 2024, a joint team of archaeologists from the German Archaeological Institute and data scientists from a leading Zurich tech firm decided to tackle this age-old problem from a completely new angle. They were going to unleash the most powerful analytical tool ever created, a highly advanced generative artificial intelligence. They called the project Prometheus. This wasn't just about crunching numbers, it was about asking the AI to think like an ancient engineer, to generate entirely new theories based on the raw data. They approached the problem as if no one had ever tried to solve it before. The AI was fine-tuned for physics and engineering, trained on techniques from Roman aqueducts to modern bridge building, and programmed to think outside the box. It could simulate rope stress, stone-on-dirt friction, and wooden lever strength, all at once, across a million variations. This was a new kind of archaeology, about datasets, processing power, and algorithmic intuition. The team's lead archaeologist, Dr. Anya Sharma, put it perfectly. We've been looking at the stones and asking how. For the first time, we can ask the physics, the geology, and the landscape. Why not this way? They loaded the data, set the parameters, and hit go. The world was about to find out what it had been missing. You can't get good answers without asking the right questions. Or, in the case of AI, providing the right data. The Prometheus team spent nearly a year creating the most comprehensive digital model of Baalbek ever assembled. A multi-layered simulation. High-resolution LiDAR of the temple complex, the surrounding terrain, and the quarry, a mile away, gave the AI centimeter-accurate topography. Every slope, bump, and obstacle was meticulously logged. The AI knew the path better than any human could. Next came geology, density, fracture points, and coefficients of friction. Wet, dry, on wood, on dirt, on stone. They even measured resonant frequency, a property that would later prove key. The AI got inputs on local timbers and rope strengths, rainfall, seasonal soils, and probable labor pools. Only period tools allowed. No magic, no futurism. Its objective: devise the most efficient, physically plausible quarrying, transport, and lifting sequence from quarry to perfect fit. They gave it the laws of physics and an ancient toolkit, and let millions of neural pathways go to work. The digital beast had been fed. Now it was time for it to hunt. After weeks of processing, simulating millions of failed attempts, crushed rollers, snapped ropes, collapsing ramps, the Prometheus AI spit out a solution. It was nothing like anyone had imagined. The report was elegant, shockingly simple, centered on a principle we've only recently begun to understand: acoustic levitation, sonic resonance. It sounds like science fiction, but the AI's model was based on hard physics, using the very properties measured in the stones. The secret wasn't brute force. It was harmony. The theory began at the quarry. Builders didn't just carve, they tuned the stones. Precise cuts found each block's natural resonant frequency, like an opera singer shattering a glass. Match the frequency, build vibrations, and the structure changes behavior. Builders weren't destroying stone. They were changing its effective weight. Sustained, perfectly pitched sound induced intense micro-oscillations. A coordinated chorus of hundreds bronze horns and drum-like resonance chambers built into the quarry floor could generate sound powerful enough to reduce frictional drag. Not levitation through the air, but vibrations that made the block dance microscopically, dramatically cutting contact friction over rollers or a prepared track. Like an air hockey table's cushion of air, Baalbek's cushion was intense sonic energy at resonance, slashing pole force by up to 90% in AI simulations. Suddenly, the manpower problem vanished. Instead of 40,000 men, a few thousand, with most effort focused on producing precise, coordinated sound. The stone still weighed tons, but the pathway through physics had changed. Harmony, not heroics, unlocked mobility for the largest stones on Earth. Getting the stones from the quarry to the temple site was only half the battle. The other great mystery was how they were lifted into place. The AI's solution was just as ingenious, and avoided impossible ramps. It focused on immense counterweights, levers, and crucially, water. A giant lever with a trilithon block on one end and a water-filled caisson on the other, lifting the stone. The site likely featured a massive wooden lifting structure, not a simple crane, but a counterweighted machine. Builders constructed large, watertight stone, or wooden, caissons on the lever's opposite arm. Nearby springs fed channels to slowly fill the caisson, turning water mass into a precisely controllable counterweight. As water filled, the lever raised the stone, releasing water lowered it by mere inches, letting builders slot it perfectly into place. Deep channels and isolated cisterns near the platform, long a puzzle, integrated perfectly in the AI model as the hydraulic engine. Acoustic assistance for transport, hydraulic counterweights for lifting, a complete end-to-end solution. The process was a symphony of physics. Brilliant, yet beautifully simple. No aliens required, only mastery of nature's forces. First, the soundsmiths lightened the journey. Then, hydraulic engineers hoisted the block with water's immense, gentle power. This discovery, born from an AI, redraws our map of the ancient world. It's a seismic shift. For generations, primitive brute force, or off-planet help. The Prometheus AI has given us a third option, more plausible, more impressive. They were neither primitive nor supernatural. They were masters of science with a deep, intuitive understanding of physics. In effect, particle physicists of stone, fluent in natural frequency, resonance, and harmonic vibration. Not on a whiteboard, but through experiment and inherited knowledge, observing, hypothesizing, and testing at monolithic scale. Why go to all this trouble? Perhaps not to show off, but for efficiency. Once resonance and hydraulics were perfected, moving a single 800-ton block could be more energy efficient than quarrying, hauling, and lifting 320 smaller blocks. This lens reframes sites worldwide. Baalbek may be the Rosetta Stone of megalithic engineering, a school that harmonized with natural forces. This isn't just a story about Baalbek. This is a story about us. It's about human ingenuity and the danger of underestimating our past. We've assumed we're always smarter and more advanced. Baalbek shatters that illusion. Knowledge can be lost. This discovery restores wonder, placing ancient builders in the realm of genius engineering, not pulp mythology. They didn't see obstacles. They saw puzzles to solve with intellect and observation. A profoundly human story, our drive to build, create, and push the possible. And it showcases the power of human curiosity partnered with AI to see patterns we can't. We stand at a new dawn, the world full of secrets and new ways to uncover them. So what happens now? The work at Baalbek is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. The AI's theory is brilliant and physically sound, but it needs real-world testing. Archaeologists and engineers are planning, replicate conditions, quarry a block, test whether sound truly reduces friction. They'll build resonance chambers and cast bronze horns to AI specs. The next chapter will be written not in code but in sweat, stone, sound. Human curiosity kept this question alive. Human ingenuity built the AI. Human desire will drive the next phase. The AI is the most powerful tool for discovery, but still a tool serving our quest to know where we come from. The world is still full of secrets. We have new ways to uncover them. Together. The past isn't dead. It's a dynamic puzzle. Sometimes one piece changes the whole picture. As I stand here today, October 5th, 2025, the ruins feel different. Not an unknowable power, but a knowable genius. A human genius.